Millions of years ago, there lived an invincible clan who claimed to be gods. They ruled the lands, oceans, skies, and the underworlds. They thrived for thousands of years, but greed for absolute power began to corrupt their hearts. They had everything, but still, it wasn't enough. King Hip, their empire, nothing was satisfying anymore. They wanted to rule, as the only almighty ruler of all. They began to question each other. One desired the sun to rise in the west, another preferred the sunlight to come from the north, some wanted a golden moon, and some craved something else. They fought, but their devastating powers started to destroy everything. They reached a conclusion and divided the Darzaakh into multiple territories, each of them ruling their territories as its god. But this didn't last for long. The first generation died and then their children took over. They weren't satisfied with the lands that they had. Brother went against brother for the godship of the kingdom. Some ended up dividing their lands further, some ended up killing their siblings, and some were not just happy with everything they had and continued fighting. Eventually, this greed and arrogance of superiority led them all to fight each other again. In the end, 5 brothers joined forces when they realized that they weren't gods and their powers had limits, and this desire to become the one and only God of all has destroyed everything. They defeated their fathers and put an end to this obsession with godship, as they believed it to be a lie and reason for all the chaos. They were the only generation that never harmed innocents. Hurting women and children, and raping were unforgivable crimes in their reign. But one crime was addressed as most devastating and non-negotiable: the desire to become a god. They believed that playing gods took everything from them. So, they destroyed all the temples of their families and ancestors. They allowed others to practice whatever religion they desired. They encouraged people to follow the religion that they thought was right instead of forcing people into worshipping them like their ancestors. But even their reign didn't last. To fight their families, they built an army known as the Sylvians. After centuries the greed had returned, but this time, it was the Sylvians. They used the same magic that was used to create them, and created the Sylvian beasts. But they were clever. They only made the beasts powerful enough to fight, but not strong enough to stand against them. They were more like the elephants, hounds, and horses of battle. As a result, they did defeat their enemies, but thousands of beasts died in that 5-century war.